It's very important, but at the moment it's not possible because now I'm studying English as well. Is when you start a job or study, you would like to be fresh, but it's really difficult to be.
Now let's talk about music. What sort of music do you usually enjoy listening to?
I'm not fan of music a lot, but I usually listen to Turkish music, and the classic Turkish music is get me relaxed. And
has the kind of music you like changed over the years?
Maybe pop music, Turkish pop music, probably. Yeah.
Do you prefer listening to live music or recorded music?
Yes, it depends on the kind of music. In Turkey, I prefer live music, but in England, I have to listen to tape music.
Do you think listening to music helps you study?
Probably not, but I do a lot. It's okay with the physics or maths or something like that, but for the literacy or something you have to be focused on it, it's not.
Now, I'm going to give you a topic and I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. Before you talk, you'll have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say. You can make some notes if you wish. Do you understand?
Yes.
Here's some paper and a pencil for making notes.
Thank you.
And here's your topic. I'd like you to describe a special gift or present you gave to someone. All right. Remember, you have 1 to 2 minutes for this, so don't worry if I stop you. I'll tell you when the time is up. Can you start speaking now, please?
Yes, the special gifts I give to someone, it was I gave it to my English teacher last year. She is a fan of Turkey and Turkish culture. I gave to her some special glass, which is we just use for the Turkish tea. And she loves Turkish tea. And my last holiday, I bring some special like a golden Turkish glasses, and she really liked them. It was special because she likes Turkish culture, Turkish food, and she knows a lot about Turkey. When we are together, we can speak a lot about my culture, my religion, and stuff from Turkey or cities of Turkey. And she's great, I think, because it's really nice to know somebody from England and know about you all. And another special gift I give somebody who was my mother-in-law. And normally we don't celebrate Mother Days, and she had never had any present from her child. And in my family, we celebrate Mother Days very especially. And I bought a ring for her, and she was really exciting and sensible, because the first time somebody celebrate her Mother's Day, and she even didn't know about Mother's Day, but I explained to her, and then I give her gifts, and after that I always do.
Thank you. Do you enjoy giving gifts?
Yes, I really like to give people gifts. When I saw them, they like it, they're excited about it. I feel happy too.
Thank you. Can I have the booklet, paper and pencil back, please? We've been talking about a special gift you gave to someone, and I'd like to discuss with you 1 or 2 more general questions related to this. Let's consider, first of all, giving gifts in families.
Okay.
On what occasions do family members give gifts to each other?
It depends on country, because every country has a different occasion. In England, I have been here for 5 years, especially before Christmas. People are crazy about giving gifts, shopping. But for us in Turkey, we have a lot of special religious days. 2 of them are very big. One of them we celebrate for 4 days. Another one we celebrate for 3 days. And we bought a lot of gifts. for families and neighbors sometimes, friends. And one of them we buy present for poor people, especially for poor people.
And what is the difference between the types of gift given to children and the gifts given to adults in families?
It's easy to find gifts for children because you can buy toys, books, or some clothes, but for the adults it's really difficult to find what they would like.
So what types of gifts do people give to adults?
Maybe some jewelry or some part of clothes, probably, yeah.
And is giving gifts important in families?
Yes, because you show them, you remember them, you love them. It's really important to me, yeah.
Let's talk about giving gifts in society. What situations in business are there when people might give gifts?
Probably, maybe first they set up their business, they celebrate that and give a present to employees or worker. And or in Turkey, colleagues give each other and or to their boss in New Year.
And what about giving gifts to customers?
Good way to keep customer, I think. Yeah.
And what types of gifts do businesses give?
I really don't know. Maybe some sale or drop in the price, something like that.
And how important is gift giving for a country's economy?
I think in England it's perfect for economy because gifts are very important. Normally for us, if we know people haven't got the money, they don't have to buy anything. But I think this country you have to buy something, and it's a good circle for to keep money turned and turned again and again.
Do you think there's pressure on people to buy too many gifts?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Why?
Because I don't know very well, but if you have some special days and you didn't get anything, maybe you will be sad and you expect that.
Do you think it would be better for society if all the money that was spent on gifts was given to help poor people?
Yeah, that would be perfect, but I don't think it's possible. But that will be really good, yeah.
Why not possible?
Because people still like have a present or being remembered, something like that. But it would be nice, yeah.
Do you think people in society should be made to give money to help other people?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know where is the poor people, or I don't know there is or not. If the society or the government or another community help me to find poor people, probably I will, yeah, and other people will too.
Is it better for people to give money or their time to help other people?
I'm sorry, could you repeat it?
Is it better for people to give money or their time to help other people?
Yes, it's better because when you need help, other people will help you and it will be a circle again and everybody will help each other.
So do you think that we should be made, or school children should be made to help other people?
Yeah, if you train at a young age, it will be like a habit for you. When you're adult or older, you will always help the people, yeah. It's like a science or not, I think.
Thank you very much. That's the end of the speaking test.
Oh, thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Phil Smith. Can you tell me your full name, please?
Brahim Idoubihi.
Thank you. And can you tell me where you're from?
I'm from France, near Paris.
Can I see your identification, please?
Yes.
Thank you. That's fine. Now, in this first part, I'd like to ask you some questions about yourself. Let's talk about what you do. Do you work or are you a student?
I work.
What kind of work do you do?
I work in a firm in accountancy. So I worked 7 years ago. So yes,
And why did you choose this kind of work?
because I think I'm good in mathematics. So, and I like economics in general. So, yes.
What kind of work would you like to do in the future?
I think I want to do the same work, but in a big company. I want to change my company
Why?
because I'm in a small company, and in this small company, we can't say a lot of things than in a big company. In a big company, it's more done in abroad, and I want to travel in other countries also.
Now, let's talk about weekends. What do you usually do at the weekend?
The weekend depends. Sometimes I like to relax, and when I have a very stressful week. But usually I like to meet some friends because I play football, and sometimes we have some competition. Also, I do some karate, but just like amateur, not in competition. And also with my friends, we like to go to the pub at night or some restaurants. Or usually I like also to show some films, new films. It's very interesting.
What do you think you'll do next weekend?
Next weekend, I will meet English students. So because I need to practice English, and she speaks also French, so I help him. I help her in French, and she helped me in English. So, yes.
Do you enjoy your weekends now more than you did when you were a child?
Yes, I think so, because when I was child, I think we are less stressful than now. Now in the work, usually we are very, very stressful. We are very stressed, and at the weekend we can relax. So it's more enjoying.
How important is it for you to relax at the end of the week?
Sorry?
How important is it for you to relax at the end of the week?
This is very important because all week we are very stressful. I have a work very stressful, and at the end of the week I like to decompress, to relax.
Let's talk about music. What sort of music do you usually enjoy listening to?
I like enjoy all type of music: Oriental, French, English, sometimes Korean, because I have some friends Korean that.
Has the kind of music you like changed over the years?
Sorry.
Has the kind of music you like changed over the years?
Yes. When I was young, I listened more rock music and metal music. So now it's more pop music and world music in general.
Do you prefer listening to live music or recorded music?
I think live music it's better than recorded music.
Why?
Because it's live music. To listen this live music, I will go there with some friends, so it's more enjoy and yes, more enjoy, and we can see the face to face some singer, and I think it's better. But for recorded music, it's good, but I think there are two remix, and it's not the real voice of a singer. So,
Thank you. Now, I'm going to give you a topic, and I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. Before you talk, you'll have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say. You can make some notes if you wish. Do you understand?
okay.
Here's some paper and a pencil for making notes. And here's your topic. I'd like you to describe a special gift or present you gave to someone. All right. And remember, you have 1 to 2 minutes for this, so don't worry if I stop you.
Okay.
I'll tell you when the time is up. Can you start speaking now, please?
Okay, so the special gifts that I give, it's a ring to my girlfriends. So at the beginning, this ring I want to, I went in many shops to find it, but I never find the ring that I like, because some rings are more complicated, they're too much, and some rings it's too simple. So I asked my grandmother to help me to find this ring for my girlfriend. So we went also in the lot of shops, and we don't find the very good. After that, she gave me her ring that she have from my grandfather. So that's my gift for. It's a special gift because she's a ring. She have a history, family history, and that's okay.
Do you enjoy giving gifts?
Yes, because usually I give some gifts only to people that I like very, very much, not just my friends. So for my friends, I can give some gift, like some flower or some perfume. That's some gift that they don't take for a long time.
Thank you. Can I have the booklet and the pencil and paper back, please? We've been talking about a special gift you gave to someone, and I'd like to discuss with you 1 or 2 more general questions related to this. Let's consider, first of all, giving gifts in families. On what occasions do family members give gifts to each other in France?
In France, we give some gifts all the time. Some Christmas, birthday, New Year's, and some events like Saint Brian or Saint. And usually when we are successful in some exam or something like that. So,
and do people spend a lot of money?
Yes, a lot of money. And sometimes for just when there are no events, just usually we can give some gifts.
So what sort of gifts do children give to adults in their families?
Usually some picture they make in the school, or some flowers also. Yes, because they have usually some pocket money, and they spend their money for some gifts, usually for their mother, or not for their friends, for their brother or sister.
And do you think adults appreciate gifts that children have made themselves more than gifts that they've bought in a shop?
Yes, I think made itself. It's look like they invest their time and their thinking about that, so it's more complicated than to buy something in the shop.
So how important do you think it is for families to give gifts to each other?
It's to make some relationships between us, and they prove their feelings between us, so it's really important.
Let's move on now and talk about giving gifts in society in general. In what situations might people give gifts when they're in business?
In business, I think just at some events like New Year and Christmas. Otherwise, they don't give some gifts. So sometimes at the end of the balance sheets, at the end between March and April, sometimes we receive some gift or we give some.
Okay, so in France, do you think companies spend a lot of money on business gifts?
Yes, it's important for relationships between the clients and the supplier. So yes, a lot of and sometimes the gift it's also like advertised because they made some pens or some glasses with bread of a company. So sometimes it's also a good advertise.
Right.
Yes.
So it's important for the company, but what about gift giving for the economy of the country in general? I mean, in France, is buying gifts an important part of the economy, do you think?
Yes, I think so. I think buying the gifts in France, particularly, it's a very big business, and many shops and many employees depend this sector, and also the tourist sector live with this things, and that's all.
Right. Now, some people say that it would be better for society if all the money that was spent on gifts was given to help poor people instead. What do you think about that?
I think we have to help the poor people, but we have also to make some relationships between us, because I think it's also very important. And of course, we have to help other people like third world, because we have to find a balance between that.
Thank you very much. That is the end of the speaking test.
Thank you.
Starts the speaking test. This is the speaking test of the International English Language Testing System taking place in Ross IELTS Academy. The candidate is Eva Mainush, candidate number 0143252. The examiner is Mehnush Hafi, examiner number 443533. Good afternoon, my name is Mehnush Hafi. Would you please tell me your full name?
Good afternoon, my full name is Eva Mainush.
What can I call you?
Just Eva.
Can I see your identification, please?
Of course.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We can now get started with the first part of the exam. In the first part, I will ask you some personal questions. First, let's talk about studying. Do you study English now?
I don't study English as a foreign language or to become a teacher. However, English is part of my program because I'm in a Master of Inter-American Studies.
And if you could change to another language, what would it be?
That would be Spanish because, as I said, my program is in Inter-American Studies and it actually involves English and Spanish.
Which one do you think is more important, research or teaching?
That is a very difficult question, but because I think both are very important. However, if I had to choose one, I would probably say it's teaching, because what good is all the research we are doing if we don't teach it to other people, if we don't pass it on to the younger generation, for example.
Now let's move on to talk about toys.
Mm-hmm.
What was your favorite toy in childhood?
Oof, I'm not sure if I had like one favorite toy, but my siblings and I, we played a lot with little animal figurines we had at home, and we used to take them to all parts of the house and garden. And my parents would probably say that those were like the favorite toys of my brother, my sister, and I.
So, should parents buy many toys for their children?
I don't think it's very important that it's many. It's more important that you can get attached to these toys and that you can use them more than once and not just these disposable toys that you throw in the garbage after when you...
What are the benefits of children playing toys?
I would say there are several benefits because, for example, if it's a toy that you can share, children can learn how to share things and how to interact with other children, also other adults. And also there are toys that can foster the creativity and imagination, and that's really nice if you can do it in a playful way.
Now let's move on to talk about reading. Do you like reading?
I love reading. My bachelor degree was in literary and cultural studies, actually, so I do read a lot and I really enjoy doing it.
And do you read electric books?
I have read electric books, but it's not really my cup of tea, so to say, because I really like to be able to put my hands on the books and smell them, and then after I read them, put them on the shelf and have a look at them when I walk past.
And what was your favorite book as a child?
That would probably be Harry Potter, and I still really like that book because it was the one book that really got me into reading. Because I started reading it when we were on vacation with my family, and that was the point from when I always took a book, and my parents always found me in bed at night reading.
Now let's move on to the second part of the exam. In the second part, I will give you a card with a topic, and you will have to talk about this topic for 2 minutes.
Okay.
But before you do so, you'll have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say, and you can make some notes to help you if you wish. Do you understand?
Yes, perfect.
Good. Now I'm giving you the cue card and the paper and a pen, and you should describe the time when you first talked in a foreign language.
Okay.
So here we go. Now you have 1 minute to think about this topic, and it starts now. Now your 1 minute is over, and you may talk about this topic for 2 minutes, but do not worry if I stop you. So you can start talking now.
Okay, so the first time I spoke a foreign language outside the classroom, that would have been on vacation in Spain, but it was English actually, because that was, I think, in year 2 or 3. So I was still quite little, and me and my family, we wanted to visit a canyon to do a hike there, but it had limited access for tourists, so there was also a limited number of tourists you could visit every day. And that day when we went, it was already, like, they had already approached the maximum number of tourists. So my mom didn't really speak English, or she didn't want to, so my sister and I, we went and we asked to make a reservation for the following day, and we explained that it would be the 4 of us, and so the woman understood us very well, and I felt very proud of myself and my sister as well, because we were quite little still, but we felt a bit like grown-ups in this moment, and very proud also to be able to help my parents, because usually, I mean, at this age, it's the other way around, right? The parents help the children, but in this case, we were able to, well, talk to the woman at the entrance and explain what we wanted to do. And yeah, she understood us, and she also was very sweet to us. And she also said that we did very well, and that she was impressed how we could speak English, even though we were that little. And then, yeah, actually the next day we went back, and we also, again, I approached the person at the entrance. It was a different one, and said that we had made a reservation the previous day. And then we would like to visit the canyon now, and it was no problem. So I was very glad about that.
Thank you very much. Now your 2 minutes over. So please hand me back the papers.
Yes, of course.
And
And the
thank
pen.
you. The pen, yes. So we can now move on to the third part of the exam.
Yes.
In the second part, you describe the time when you first talked in a foreign language. And in the third part, I want to ask you some questions related to this topic.
Yes.
Why do people want to learn a foreign language?
I think that depends a bit on the person, but probably the most common motivation is to be able to talk to people from other countries who have a different cultural background, who speak a different language. Because I think that being able to speak a foreign language really opens doors to you. Because even if you go to a different country, if you don't speak the language, people are less willing to share information with you. And if you do approach the people in their own language, they're usually very glad to help you out and to explain
So
more.
what is the best way to learn a foreign language? Through reading, through writing, or through speaking?
For me personally, it's listening and speaking, and just kind of trial and error. But I do think that depends a lot on the person and their personality, because I think an introvert person would probably rather study at home and read and write and study maybe the grammar, rather than approach a different person directly and practice their speaking skills.
Now let's talk a bit about children. Is it important to teach children foreign languages when they are little?
I think it can be very helpful, because if they're younger, they naturally learn easier and faster, and you can just teach them a different language in a playful way so that they get used to it from an early age. And
So
they
do
will
you think
benefit.
that children learn a foreign language faster than adults?
Yes, I do think so. However, I do also think that it depends on the motivation, because a child that learns, for example, English in school, but doesn't really want to learn it only because it's part of the curriculum, will probably not learn it faster than an adult who's really interested in learning it because they want to move abroad and need it for their job or also their
So at
studies.
what age do you think that children should start learning a foreign language?
Probably the younger, the better. But I think if I had to put an age, I would say when they enter school, because this is also when they, well, have to get used to having this routine of studying and have a schedule for the day.
And how about the minority languages? Do you think that they will disappear one day?
Unfortunately, I think they will disappear unless we support the use and the teaching of it. So I think there are a lot of programs actually who are working, which are working on this, like people who are dedicated on spreading the use of it, or also teaching it to the next generation.
Thank you very much. This is the end of the speaking test.
Nice.
Now, yes. Now I just need 2 minutes to add up your score in different criteria, and then I will give you the feedback and your overall band score. Okay?
Okay,
Good.
thank you.
Hello everybody! Do you want to know what band score you will get in your IELTS writing? Do you also need to know how to improve your writing skills for the real test? We've got the solution for you in Ross IELTS Academy. Send us your writings. We'll check them out thoroughly in less than 36 hours. You'll get the Banda score along with comprehensive feedback in both written and video formats. It's your time to become our next successful candidate.
Okay, Eva, now let's see what you did. So we can get started with the first criteria. I give you the details of what you're expected to do based on that and what you did, your own performance, and then we can talk about your overall Banda score.
Okay.
So, to talk about your fluency and coherence, I can say that it was a very good performance because you were quite fluent when you were talking to me. And the very good thing is that you were speaking very naturally. You were not trying to use memorized language or remember the things that you planned to say or to talk about in different topics. It was all very natural. And other than that, you had some hesitations, but very natural hesitations, because you can pause when you don't remember the language, the vocabulary, the grammar, and that is not a good thing in your fluency and coherence. But your pauses were all content related, like you were pausing because you were thinking of the next idea. And of course, you didn't have many pauses. It was just a few pauses, natural ones. Besides, I can talk about your topic development. In part one, you were to give me some short answers. In part two, to cover your 2 minutes and to talk about all the bullet points. And in part three, some longer answers. And you did so. How you explained and how you covered your ideas. You said something, then you gave me more explanations and examples to just support what you had said. So it was a really good one here. And the last thing regarding your fluency and coherence is how you used different discourse markers and connectives to just go on, like with different parts or different topics. For example, you use the word however, also, even though, rather than, so that, unless, and it was all used in the correct place, in the correct sentence. So being error-free is something that really matters in IELTS speaking, that, of course, you were error-free. And some discourse markers, so to say, actually, and other words, well. So yes, it was really good. I really liked your fluency and coherence, talking about the, based on the Banda descriptors. And now to talk about the next criteria, your lexical resource, your vocabulary. In your lexical resource, some things matter. The first one is how you used a range of words, vocabulary. I could hear some collocations, idiomatic vocabulary, and you were just using them all very flexibly. And besides the use of boosters and fillers, you didn't give me the answer very directly and straight away. It was in a way that you just bought yourself some time to just think of what you want to say, and then you gave me the answer, and that's okay. Like you said, yeah, that's a very good question, that's an interesting question, and then you just kept talking. So how you use fillers and boosters, how you use the range of collocations, vocabulary, very flexibly, and your paraphrasing was also good. I would say one little thing that you can work on is how you paraphrase the examiner's question, because you shouldn't repeat the exact same question, and at times you were doing it. So, the synonyms you used or vocabulary to mention some, for example, my sibling instead of my sisters or brothers, or the following day instead of the next day, make a reservation, to walk past something, to be impressed, or then people are dedicate their time to something. So it was all really good how you were using the words, but how you were paraphrasing your own words or sentences, maybe you could paraphrase my questions as well, not to repeat the same words. That's the only thing I can talk about here in this criteria. And now your grammatical range and accuracy. What was really, what I can really mention regarding your grammatical range and accuracy is that, first of all, you were error-free, just like how you were using the connectives and structures, because it is really important to use the appropriate structures in the sentences. And you were using a range of different tenses. I used to, or the past tenses, present, future, other than the conditional sentences, relative clause, and also compound sentences, subordinate clauses. So different complex structures that you are using very naturally and flexibly. And of course, the connectives you used that I mentioned in the fluency and coherence really helps you with making these complex structures. So really great performance. And finally, your pronunciation. Your pronunciation was also very easy and clear to understand how you were pronouncing different words or using the other pronunciation features like the word stress, the sentence stress, and your intonation. It was not like you were speaking to me in a very flat mode. It was all, you were just playing with your voice, depending on, is it a sentence, is it a question, what kind of question is it? So you were just talking to me naturally, you were not trying.
I tried to.
And it was a very good attempt.
Thank you.
So yes, this is all about the criteria, your fluency and coherence, vocabulary, lexical resource, grammatical range and accuracy, and pronunciation. So generally to talk about to talk about your overall band score, I can say you got a 9 today, and you should really be happy about
I
that.
am. That was really nice.
Great.
Thank
And
you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I mean, it was a very good performance. The only thing that you can work a bit on is maybe to paraphrase a bit better, and
definitely.
you can of course use a even wider range of vocabulary or idiomatic vocabulary. You're able
of
to
course.
do that.
Of course.
So, do you have any questions or any doubts?
No, well, just thank you so much. I'm really happy with the result.
You're welcome. Great. So I wish you best of luck. And
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
celebrated with the big, bold, beautiful Nissan Magnite.
Welcome to the speaking portion of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. May I see your identification?
Yes, here, this is the passport that I use for my registration for this exam.
Thank you.
The IELTS examiner is assessing every candidate from the beginning. You need a strong first impression. Here, the examiner is thinking, good vocabulary, good content, but the candidate should not be getting stuck saying for my registration. So more fluency is highly recommended for a Band 9.
And what is your full name?
My given name are Juliana Loa and my family name is Oliveira, but you can call me Ju.
Okay, Ju.
Ju does a great job introducing herself, but she must pay more attention to enunciating the S sound for plurals. My given names are. This is very important for that Band 9.
Here's your identification back. I'm going to record this for marking purposes. The speaking has 3 parts. I will give you instructions for each. To begin, for part 1, I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic. Where do you live?
I live in Santa Teresa area of Rio de Janeiro in a 2-bedroom apartment on the 5th floor with my siblings and family.
In this question, Ju reaches the Band 9 level by describing specifically and fluently where she lives, even using numbers to describe the size of her apartment.
What helps you to relax?
Well, when I'm worn out, I like to listen music, some R&R, and when I feel a bit more energetic, I like to go out with my friends to dance.